They have one of the toughest schedules in all of college football in 2019. And in fact, we ranked them as having the most difficult schedule in all of college football. But South Carolina should still have a pretty good team heading into this season. You look at what they have coming back really on both sides of the ball. If they can get some of the guys that were injured last year on defense back healthy, playing at 100%, the defense has a chance to be really good. We're going to talk about the offense. We're going to talk about several things actually in this video as I gather more information from different articles and different sources on the South Carolina Gamecocks and what's kind of been going on with them this spring. So let's go ahead and we'll start with the tempo first. We heard from Jake Bentley and also Brian Edwards. Both guys say that they're going to be playing even faster this year. We saw that some last year. We saw some tempo last year, but they're going to have even more tempo this year, and we'll see how that works out. Also, speaking about the offense, Brian Edwards was talking about how Shi Smith is kind of going to fill the role of Deebo Samuel now that he is gone. I think Brian Edwards is the most talented wide receiver on this team, but Shi Smith is more of a speedy, quick guy like Deebo Samuel, a guy that maybe can be used in several different ways on the offense. So he's really going to be taking on more of that role. Brian Edwards, in my opinion, is more of the traditional wide receiver. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic to watch. I had Shi Smith listed as one of the top 10 players on this South Carolina team. I think he's going to have a big year, and if they can use him in some of the same ways that they use Deebo Samuel, he could put up some really, really big numbers. Again, you look at this offense, they should be pretty good. Jake Bentley now in his 4th season, is he finally going to get over the hump? Is he going to win them some football games? We've seen him put up some good numbers and play really well at times, but it seems like when the game is on the line, maybe he didn't always come through for this team. And this is the year that I think he's going to have to do that. They're going to have some tough games, some difficult games, some close games. What is he going to do when it comes down to the 4th quarter and they're down by 4 and they need a touchdown? That, to me, is going to be a big key when you talk about how far this South Carolina team goes, because they have to play Clemson, Georgia, and Alabama. Those are 3 games they're going to be almost impossible to win. I'm not going to say they can't win them, but it's very unlikely that they win any of those games. The rest of their games, they'll have at least a chance to win the rest of those games. They're going to be, again, very, very tough games. But if this team can go 9-3 with the schedule that they have, this is a team that's probably going to go to a New Year's Six bowl. Talking now about the defense a little bit, Brad Johnson is someone that has really impressed. He is going to be playing the Buck linebacker position some. Coaches say he's starting to listen. Maybe he didn't listen so much when he was in his younger years, but he's starting to buy into what the coaches have to say, and he's starting to emerge as a potential star for this South Carolina team. They say that he can be a great pass rusher and a real difference maker on the defense. So look for him to have a breakout year potentially in 2019 if the spring is any indication of what we're going to see. Also, a true freshman coming in, 4-star Joseph Anderson on the defensive line has also impressed coaches. We all know about Zach Pickens. He's supposed to be, the superstar of this class. But Joseph Anderson also has been impressive. So watch for him to make an immediate impact on this defensive line. And again, that's an area where they could use a little bit of help. I think they're going to be pretty good. But to get to that elite status, they're going to need a little bit more talent and maybe some of these young guys to step in and at least add some depth on that defensive line. Speaking of the defense, there are some issues with depth in the secondary. So yeah, the depth in the secondary is looking to be a concern here for South Carolina, and really maybe the only area where they are concerned from a depth standpoint. They had a few freshmen that are coming in this year, but were not early enrollees, so they're not going through the spring. So that is a little bit of a concern. You're not going to have those guys go through the spring and learn the defense and be ready to go. They'll have to learn quickly this fall. But they say that the guys that are there that have played so far this spring, especially 3 guys, have really, really impressed. They've had an edge about them. You can see their talent. And those 3 guys will be Israel Mukamua, J.C. Horn, and R.J. Roderick. Those 3 guys, again, have impressed the coaches from the secondary. but it's depth. That's what they've got to add. They've got to add some depth there. So we're going to see how that looks moving forward. The spring game is coming up this Saturday, and I think that might be one of the biggest things to watch because we feel like Jake Bentley in this passing attack is going to be really good. They're going to have one of the better passing offenses in the SEC. So if there are some concerns in the secondary, I think you might see it in this spring game, a big-time test for them. That's what I'm going to be watching. Can the secondary, can they slow down this passing attack? And also the defense as a whole, can they get pressure on the quarterback? That's a key to winning in the SEC. It starts with that defensive line. So are they going to be able to get pressure and maybe take some of the pressure off of the secondary? That will be something that I think we need to watch this Saturday. But again, South Carolina spring game is coming up. We will have a spring game review after that game is complete. We're going to try to do that for all of the SEC teams. I'll watch the spring games and give you my thoughts on what I see out of each of these teams and maybe how it changed my opinions of them heading into the 2019 season. So I'd love to get your thoughts on any of this. If you're a South Carolina fan, what have you heard from the spring that maybe I didn't touch on in this video? Anything you want to add, feel free to do that down in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports SEC Football Channel.